Okay. Vita. I'm gonna show y'all boys where I'm from, man. I'm from.
Alright, what it do? Still with the count, shot like a lamb, big boss out, boss down. Can't poke through that door, here to talk to this boxer, fucking my soliloquy. Never tough times don't last, good people do, don't know if you self cut them in the fight like make me matter. Peak game, metaphors of what's funny. Alright, man, I normally be driving my truck, but the air went out. I don't play with that. I don't play with that. It's hot, man. Down here in this Texas, bro. It's 89, but with the humidity, man, it's like 105. I ain't gonna hold you. It get hot down here in Houston, bro. But let's talk boxing. But first and foremost, I want to thank my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, for giving me the opportunity to make this video. Let's get to it. Eddie Hearn believes that he can make Gervonta Davis fight for Shakur Stevens. Let's talk about it. Eddie Hearn, cornerboxnews24.com, basically was like, hey, look, if Shakur Stevenson wins a pay-to, which he did, he would like to try to reach out to Gervonta Davis to make a Tank versus Shakur fight, and because he believes that that's the biggest fight in boxing, right? I'm here to tell you right now, he's not gonna be the one to get that fight over the hump. For starters, Gervonta Davis don't fool with Eddie Hearn, right? Eddie Hearn don't know what he's doing. Eddie Hearn is a lazy promoter. We just gonna be honest. He's lazy, right? That's why Shakur Stevenson that's why he got Lou DiBella with him instead of Eddie Hearn, right? Now, the person I feel like if this fight gets made, right? And I know I made a video saying Shakur don't deserve this fight. I'm gonna get into my statement in a minute. But if this fight gets made, it's gonna be Jay Prince. It's not gonna be Eddie Hearn. If somebody can get this fight done and who can persuade Tank, is Jay Prince. And hear me out. Jay Prince is like a Houston legend, bro, in the streets. My boss, you know, when I was young, before I, gave myself to Christ, it was somebody that I kind of looked up to and kind of like modeled, how I operated, you know what I'm saying? Because that dude, he don't do no talking. He move in silence, you know what I mean? And he ain't got nothing to prove to nobody unless you want him to prove something to you. That's kind of how I was moving, you know what I'm saying? But once I found Christ, I was like, why am I idolizing this other man? This is a man. Pause. You know what I mean? But Jay Prince is somebody that represents the streets, right? He represents the have-nots, right? So if anybody that could reach Gervonta Davis, it's gonna be Jay Prince, right? Tank, I mean, he representing the struggle. He from the hood, you know what I mean? He from the hood, he from the struggle. He was in trap houses, sleeping on the floor, things like that, right? As a kid, boxing kind of saved him and took him to another trajectory, right? So I think if anybody can reach him, it's Jay Prince. I don't think Eddie Hearn can get Gervonta Davis to come to the table to talk about the Shakur Stevenson fight, right? Like I told you, for starters, Jay Prince know the business of boxing, right? Now, granted, am I sitting here saying he the best manager? No, but he know the business of boxing, right? He worked with Floyd back in the day. He worked with Andre Ward. He's now working with Shakur, and he's working with Abdullah Mason. So he knows the business of boxing, okay? So he'll be able to reach Tank to get Tank to come to the table to basically get a fight between him and Shakur, right? Now, is Shakur Stevenson deserving of this fight? I'm going to stand on my 10. No. But, like I said before, I think if anybody can persuade Tank, it's Jay Prince. You know what I'm saying? I think Shakur, he gotta. This the problem I have with Shakur Stevenson and Gervonta Davis fight. A lot of people see the skill of Shakur and they're like, oh, he's the one that give people problems. Tank problems. I don't see that, bro. I'm sorry. I just don't see that, right? You struggled against a Williams Zepeda. Now, he dominated him. Don't get it twisted, okay? But you're sitting there saying that was your toughest fight of your career? And I said this before. Do you know what Tank would do with Williams Zepeda? I'm sorry. Like, that fight not going 12 rounds. It may be 2 or 3, right? I'm just being real. Like, I'm just being serious. Williams Zepeda is not good at all. You know what I'm saying? I've been saying that. So don't try to come here and be like, oh, the only reason you're saying that is because, no. I've been saying that. I've been saying that before Shakur even fought him. I said, man, Shakur gonna dominate this dude's levels. Right? I'm telling you, if Tank got in there with Williams Zepeda, sleep. The Electric Man cutting the lights off. That's all I'm saying. I call him Gervonta the Electric Man Davis because he cutting some lights off. You feel me? So all I'm saying at the end of the day is when it comes to that fight, I think Shakur definitely got an opportunity to beat Tank, right? Because of his boxing skill. But I'm telling you, Tank land on that chin, it's a wrap. I'm telling you this. I don't care what y'all talking about. I said this about Devin. Y'all was like, oh, what fight? Devin? And then Ryan Garcia. And I told y'all, I didn't think it was going to be Ryan. I thought for sure it was going to be Tank that was going to expose Devin Haney. And it happened to be Ryan. Right? Now it's possibly going to be Brian Norman. Right? I'm telling y'all, bro. Some of these dudes that y'all be sitting here trying to hype up that do one thing well. Shakur is a masterclass boxer. That's all he's good at is boxing. He's not masterclass at letting his hands go. He was getting tired against Zepeda. He can't come forward and fight like that. He likes to fight off the back foot and counter you and get in your head. That's what Shakur like to do. You feel me? He ain't out here trying to, when it come down to Tank, I've seen him box, I've seen him brawl, I've seen him counter, I've seen him do it all. You know what I'm saying? Whereas Shakur, this is his first fight where he came forward in a while. Since he used to be a prospect. When he was a prospect, yeah, you gonna come forward and do this and do that. But all I'm saying is just like, if you look at Shakur Stevens' resume and the fact that he got a belt, that's what's linking him to Tank, is that he got a belt. That's it. He ain't did nothing. You know what I mean? And I'm just being honest. Y'all can get mad at your mama, not me. He ain't did nothing. I know, he's a multi-division world champion. What they got to do with 135? So if that's the case, Tank deserves a fight with Canelo then, huh? Because Tank is a multi-division world champion. Tank generates all this money. He deserves a fight with Canelo. Like, bro, stop playing, bro. Like, what are we doing? Like, it's stupid, bro. Like, this is why I don't like boxing today. Because boxing today, people hype up stuff. They talk too much. They talk stuff into existence. And then it's like, bro, he ain't did nothing. Let the man fight tough fights. But y'all let him get away scot-free by not fighting no tough fights. You know what I'm saying? If he do what I tell him to do, he'll get that Tank fight. If he go fight Abdullah Mason and make lunch meat of him, right? Go fight Floyd Schofield or fight Raymond Murtaugh, easy money. Hell, I'd rather him go fight Floyd Schofield and make lunch meat of him. Then come back to the table, and be like, hey, Tank, you want to fight? Tank say, no. Hey, Raymond Murtaugh, what's up? Let's do a unification. Right? Now you coming to the table with more leverage. Because I'm telling you right now, Shakur don't have no leverage when it comes to that fight either. That's another thing. He got to do whatever Tank got to do. If Jay Prince is able to deliver that fight, which I think Jay Prince can, if he's able to deliver that fight, right? If Tank decides, okay, I'll fight dude, y'all talking too much, I'm going to show y'all, and delivers that fight, he got to do whatever Tank want him to do because he ain't got no leverage. He's the B-side. So if Tank say, hey, man, you got to take $2 million, that's what you got to take. Instead of you coming to the table like, okay, look, I demand 50-50 because I got more belts than you, right? If you get in there and fight Abdullah Mason, right, who I'm picking to beat Sam Noakes in November and become the WBO champion at 135, you go over there and say, you know what, Abdullah, let's get it cracking, bro. That's when you basically can sit there and, you can sit there and come to the table with Tank and be like, you know what, bro? I got more belts. Let's go. Let's fight. Damn all this talking, all this, let's fight. You saying everything, but let's fight. I want to fight. And if you're not offering 50-50, then I don't want to talk to you. No, Shakur not thinking like that. This man sitting here just, I want to fight because I think I'm the best. Cool. It's one thing to think you're the best at something, right? We're not knocking you for being confident, right? And we just keep it 1,000. I'm not knocking Shakur Stevenson for being confident. And I said this before. A man's supposed to be confident, right? That's real talk. But when it comes down to the situation, you got to be realistic. You got to sit there and analyze and be like, how bad do I really want this fight? If I want this fight real bad, okay, cool. I got to sit here and accept the fact that I'm the B-side and accept the fact that, whatever he offered me, I got to take it. Pause. Now, granted, we've been down this road before with Shakur when he was linked to Devin Haney, right? In which Devin Haney recently said, we reached out to all those guys. We reached out to Shakur for a possible fight. You know what I mean? So, all I'm saying at the end of the day is we gotta kick this mug 1,000. Shakur don't deserve no Tank fight. Based off of his resume and the things that he accomplished at 135, he don't deserve a Tank fight. But the person who can get him that fight, right, is Jay Prince. The person who can. Now, if Shakur go ahead and, I'm tired of 2025. I'm seeing boys walk around here with purses. Y'all men got to stop doing this stuff, man. We need to get back to being men. I'm sorry. My bad, y'all. I just can't stand that stuff. But all I'm saying at the end of the day is, if Shakur follow that blueprint that I put out and say, hey, look, go fight Abdullah Mason. Go fight Raymond Murtaugh. Go fight those guys. Beat them. Take their belt. Really, if you beat Abdullah Mason, and you beat him in like a spectacular fashion, that's going to get Tank attention right there. You see what I'm saying? But, and this is another thing. Why would the black fighters, y'all put pressure on them, but not the non-black fighters? That's what I don't understand. Canelo been ducking David Benavidez openly. He's openly ducking David Benavidez. And it's cool. Everybody accepting it. Nobody's sitting there saying nothing. But Tank got to fight this person. Tank or easy, Tank this, Tank that. But Canelo is cool. It's cool for him to duck. What has David Benavidez done? What has he done? He beat everybody that Canelo didn't beat. The only mutual opponents they have is Caleb Plant. You know what I mean? In which we give Canelo the nod on that. He stopped Caleb Plant. David Benavidez with 12 with Caleb Plant. But David Benavidez fought David Morrell, somebody Canelo didn't face or wouldn't have faced. David Benavidez is finna fight Anthony Yard, somebody that Canelo didn't face or wouldn't have faced. Vlasic, somebody that Canelo didn't face or didn't want to face. You know what I mean? David Benavidez tried to fight Berlanga. Berlanga ran. David Benavidez tried to fight Herman McGill. Herman McGill didn't want to fight him. So what is he supposed to do? You know what I'm saying? Everybody they put in front of David Benavidez and they say, hey, fight this guy and you get a Canelo fight. He fight him. He beat him. Canelo, me no fights. Guys, this is my night. Don't disrespect me. Bro, what is you talking about, bro? Canelo can openly duck and it's cool. But Tank, oh, Tank, he a beezy. He ain't fighting Shakur. No, bro. If we gonna hold this man to this standard, we need to hold this nigga to the same standard. We not finna sit here and act like Canelo ain't running from smoke. Edgar Berlanga, what did he do to get a Canelo fight? What did he do to get a Canelo fight? Who did he beat? Who did Edgar Berlanga beat? That was a top fighter to get a Canelo fight. Oh, Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn cool with Canelo. Eddie Hearn cool with Canelo. That's how he got the fight. Canelo did Eddie Hearn a favor. Herman McGill, what did he do to get a Canelo fight? Who he beat? So I'm not trying to hear none of that foolishness. But when it come down to Tank, oh man, Tank a beezy, man. He don't want to fight. He don't want to fight the top guys, man. He running and he went, Look, I don't agree with the whole paint nails and man purses. I can't stand it. So all I'm saying at the end of the day, to keep it 1,000, is that when you look at the totality of the circumstances, it's like this, bro. I just read a comment. I'm finna cook somebody in a minute. Y'all understand? I see comments. I'm like, bing! I already got the comeback in my head. All I'm saying at the end of the day is, Jay Prince can deliver the fight, right? He can approach Tank and persuade him to basically take this fight. But is Shakur Stevenson deserving of this fight based off his current resume? Heavens no. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Boss gone.